What's now? What's now, my Prospros? I want to talk to you about what is going on right now. This is a bonus episode, and it's not going to come to you with any intro, with any outro, with any promo, with any of those other things that it usually has. This is just me going on, unedited, live, just reporting to you what is happening here at Presidential Lifestyle, but especially to touch on what's likely happening with you. So I feel a lot of fear in the world. I feel a lot of victim talk and a lot of shame and guilt and confusion, all of these emotions. And you know my job. My job is to settle all of this for the world. My job is to bring some peace. And so I'm just here to do my job. So today I want to have a conversation with you about what's going on, what some of my views are. I don't want to get too opinionated because it doesn't even matter what my views are. But the ultimate goal of these bonus episodes that we're going to throw in here for you from time to time is to reduce your stress. We really want to give you some tools to help you manage your stress, increase your peace. And the way that we're going to do that is to give you wisdom-based information so that you can take that to your family, your friends, and keep that internally for yourself so you can make wisdom-based decisions rather than fear-based decisions or fake-based decisions, fake news-based decisions. Because like things like that Stafford Act text message that was going around, we don't want to take action based on information that's just not accurate. It's just not, it's not productive. It's not effective. And it's a waste of our time and energy. And I know you're a high achiever. And even during this time of crisis, you're still a high achiever. That hasn't changed. So where you put your time and energy is still very important. Well, let me say this. At Presidential Lifestyle, we have always been a virtual company with a few live in-person events throughout the year. That is our core business model, and we are happy to serve you virtually, as well as in person when need to. But as always, we have always been here for you virtually through this podcast, through our one-on-one private conversations, and even through our group conversations and our online community forum. That's always been where we meet you. Now, here's the thing. We typically meet with high achievers, CEOs who are running multi-million-dollar companies. During this COVID-19 crisis, my entire team has decided to be available for private conversations. Now, we didn't become a virtual company to protect each other from spreading viruses or diseases. That's not why we did it. We did it because it makes it convenient and easy for you to connect with me, my team, the tribe, and resources. Your safety is important to us, so I don't take that lightly. Your peace of mind during this time of crisis is even more important to us. So I want to make sure that you have what you need so that you are making wisdom-based decisions during this time. That's why our entire team decided to be available for private conversations, because I will still handle the high achievers, the CEOs, the high-end entrepreneurs, because there's a certain amount of stress and uncertainty that comes with this. The business owner has a different stress than the employee does. And so I'm going to continue to talk to the business owner, and my team is going to talk to the employee, but also to the youth, because the youth has some concerns too. And a lot of times we overlook them. We don't give them the attention that they deserve, and we make it seem like their opinion doesn't matter, and it's just not true. You can learn so much from the youth. I don't know if you've heard the story I told in my book, The Art of Starting Over, where my 5-year-old nephew said to me, Auntie, you're always focused on what you're going to do, and you don't focus on what you've already done, some really great things, Auntie. And I was like, oh my God. He was 5 years old when he told me that. And he was right. I lived in the future. I was in the future all the time. And it was all about what was next. And that's how what's now was born, because, we focus on what's next a lot. But focusing on what's now is super important too. And when I bring up what's now right now, I want us to sift through the information that is fake, the information that is fear-based, the information that's like conspiracy theory based. And I laugh, but I'm sort of a conspiracy theorist myself. And I'm going to tell you at the end, like some of not my conspiracy theories, because I'm not an educated conspiracy theorist. So it's really going to be more of my gut feeling and some of my opinion. But my gut never fails me. I am like Olivia Pope when it comes to that. Like, I am always spot on, and people are just like, how did you know that? It's so many cases in my life, all through my life since I was a really, really young girl. And so because of that, I usually know some things, and I'm kind of like an early adapter. Like, I'll know it early, but it'll come to light. And there's nothing scary or nothing crazy. I'm just going to wait to the end to tell you that, because I don't want to be one of those fake news or fear-based information givers that you're already trying to battle. So I'm going to make sure I separate this information and just tell you, hey, these are my thoughts. But my goal is that you have enough information so that you can make your own decisions. Stop letting those outside voices overshadow your internal voice, because I'm listening to my internal voice, and I'm pleading for you to listen to your internal voice. And I want to give you some tips and some tools and also some resources that will allow you to do that in so many ways. So we are here. That's what I want you to know. We are here, and I'm going to go through how we plan to be here for you. But also right after that, I'm going to go through some tips that you can use to kind of calm your fears, to give you some peace in this time of crisis. So if you would like to join our virtual peace party, that is what we're calling it, our virtual peace party, and have a private conversation with a member of our team, here is what you need to do. So we will create, in the show notes, there'll be a link. We'll create a link that'll take you directly to a page where you can join our new virtual peace party. And there is a space for children or youth. There is a space for moms to talk about what they want to talk about. There's a space for single ladies to talk about what they need to talk about. And there's a space for men. So you know that I typically say that I work with high achievers, those CEOs who are running multi-million-dollar companies. Well, that's typically men. Do we still work with high achieving ladies? Yes. But because those high achieving ladies might fall into one of those other groups, they may want to go there, the mom group or the single lady group. And so you're open to do whatever you would like. The group that is the presidential experience, our typical group, is about 70 or 80% male at any given time. So ladies, if you jump in that group, I just want you to understand that it is more male dominated. So my conversation and my language is more male dominated. Not because I don't love the ladies. I myself am working on becoming more feminine. So I know I need you ladies in there with me. But I also know that when men go through a midlife crisis, and when this crisis hits his family, how he responds is going to be super important. It's going to weigh on him if he can't save his family. And if this crisis gets worse, I'm talking like, movie for like what was that movie, World Z or something like that Brad Pitt was in? Like if it gets that way, that same way that Brad Pitt's character just wanted to keep his family safe, that is every man. Every man. And he's going to need to talk to other men about the feelings that he's experiencing. Now, a single lady who doesn't have any children, she may feel something different. And a mom who might actually be I call it a village mom instead of a single mom. If she's a village mom, then she's counting on so many people in her village, in her tribe, neighborhood, in her community to help her raise these children. And even if she has a co-parent, sometimes that village mom has different stressors than the single lady does. And the youth, they have stressors. First of all, they miss their friends. They want to see their friends. School is where they get to be themselves, because let's face it, a lot of times they can't be themselves at home. Yeah, parents, that's true. You don't allow your kids to be yourself. I work with many teenagers, especially teenage boys, and the number one thing I hear them complain about is that their parents don't know them or like them. Yeah. So we know you love your children, and they know it deep down in their hearts, but they don't think you like them. But that's a whole nother show. I know. It's a whole nother show. Let's get back to COVID-19. Okay, but I am going to talk about that. I am going to talk about that now that we have brought this conversation up. So in the show notes, there's going to be a link. And it's going to take you to our virtual peace party. Now, the virtual peace party is very similar to the program that we teach in Presidential Experience. It just has a slant for whatever group it is. Now, we have a coupon code, and that coupon code is Wisdom 700. So that gets you $700 off of what we normally charge. And that makes it really, really freaking cheap. So just look in the show notes for that. I don't want to go too deep on that. You're going to give us your information, especially your best email, an email that you know you're going to be checking, because we're going to be dripping content out to you. We want you to jump into the forum, give your opinion, share your stories, tell us what you've learned. And then even if you've seen some fake news and you want to verify it, drop it in the community and say, hey, this is what I'm hearing. Does anybody else know anything about this? And as a community, we will get to the bottom of it. But also we're going to have these group conversations. So we're going to be talking about once a week, what are the youth concerned about? Like one of our team members is going to be talking specifically to the youth once a week. And so each group, men, single ladies, moms, will have their weekly conversation with the group and me. I'll be there. So I'm going to be teaching a lesson that'll help you keep your peace during this time, because remember, I said your health is very important to me, including your mental health. So I'm going to be talking about your nutrition, your physical activity, your sleep, how to maintain during this time. But I'm also going to be breaking down the Control the Controllable guide that we teach. And based on that guide, we're going to help you stay in peace, and we're going to help you make wisdom-based decisions rather than fear-based decisions. Now, I am the world's #1 clinical hypnotherapist specializing in financial therapy. So, of course, we're going to be talking about money, because there are going to be some money opportunities that I do not want you to miss. And it's going to be easy to miss it because of the COVID-19 information that's out there. It can be easy to miss, and I just don't want you to do that. So I'm going to be sure to be talking to you about it in the community, what's happening, but I'm going to talk to you about it today. Those tips that I said I'm going to give you, one of those tips are, so inside the tips, I'm going to say, okay, this is your financial tip, but it'll probably be like 2 or 3 tips under that umbrella. So stay tuned. This episode is probably going to be longer than I want it to be, but I just want to pour out everything that's in my head. And then I'll do some other episodes to break some of those things down, especially as you send me questions. So you can send us questions at podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com. Now, let me tell you, there's not going to be a lot of show notes. There is just going to be a couple of links in the show notes. So because this is a bonus episode, we're not producing it the same way we normally do. This is live. I'm just coming on here talking, sharing, pouring out my heart to you, telling you what some of my people have been saying to me and what my team is saying. And so I want us to all be connected. So even if you don't jump into the virtual peace party, I want to make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn. So that link will be in the show notes, and Instagram, because I'm always on Instagram. I post all the stress management stuff, a lot of free content on Instagram. I do IGTV, I do lives, I do stories, and I post. So Instagram and LinkedIn, follow me there. Now, at some point, you are going to, you're going to feel stressed. You already feel stressed and you feel some fear. So where will you turn? That's what I want to ask you. That's my question to you right now. So just think about that. When you feel stress, where do you turn? Yeah. You probably are going to turn to television. And you're going to turn it on because the brain is like, oh my God, I'm scared. What should I do? Let me turn on TV and see what everybody else is doing. I'm going to ask you to at least turn that television off for at least an hour. 2, please. I want you to do at least 2 hours. But if the TV, I know people that turn on their TV as soon as they wake up and they're listening to other people's voices pour into them. I'm going to ask that you just be quiet, especially as soon as you wake up. So listen to your own voice for an hour or 2 a day. During this time, you can contemplate how you plan to stick to your life plan and your daily routine during a time of crisis. Don't let this shift your plan. Now, yeah, you may have to make some adjustments, but don't abandon the plan. This is one of the things we can help with. Like, we can help you stay and stick to your prosperity plan during our private conversations. So I want to be, I also don't want to be one of those things. Like, even when I say turn the TV off, turn me off too. Only allow me to come into your head during the hours that you're giving yourself permission to listen to other voices, because you can't do it alone. That's why we have a tribe. But there are times where you need to be alone. You need to just do things by yourself. You need to contemplate and go within. So if you want a private conversation, that's something you can book too, to help you figure out how to go within, because I know not everybody knows. And we used to do this Monday meditation for the world, but I found that the world wasn't really tapping into it. Our community was. And so we just brought it into the community, and we're only doing it with the community. But I'm going to bring it back because I think the world needs it, and you might be more willing to do it now. But I want to go through those tips that I told you. So I'm going to call it 5 steps to gaining peace, or 5 steps to controlling the controllable. I don't know, whatever. Just know it doesn't have a title because this is live. So this is 5 steps to gain inner peace and overcome the fear. So the first thing I want you to do is the first 3 steps of the Control the Controllable guide. Now, you may have already taken the controllable guide and you know them, but if you don't, I want to walk you through them. So the first step is awareness. What are you feeling right now? What's real? What's fake? Just get some awareness around that. What precautions should you be taking right now? What control do you have? What is outside of your control? Just think and become aware. Open up. This is where you listen to your own voice, because you've already poured a bunch of stuff in. Now it's time to just become aware of what is happening right now. Ask yourself some questions. Really think about like what I just said. Ask yourself those questions. And then any others that come to you. But try and keep them fact-based. Don't go too fear-based, but just ask yourself some questions so you become more aware of what is happening right now. Now, I'm going to talk more about this because I'm going to be going live every single day as long as I can to talk about this, to do meditations to help you increase your peace. So reduce your stress. So just think about that, and I'll give you some more thoughts. I'll bring you what I'm working on. That's the other thing that I'm going to do. So I'm really going to share with you what I'm doing so that you can kind of like follow along and do it too. You don't have to do exactly what I do. You know my philosophy. Just take what works for you, sift through it, find the golden nuggets in what I share, and then apply it, implement it, apply it, implement it into your life. Remember, this is live. So acceptance. Let go of trying to control things. Number 2 is acceptance. So I said number 1 was awareness. Number 2 is acceptance. Stop trying to control things, especially stop trying to control things that you don't control. Let me change that. I want you to take control of the things you can control, and we're going to talk about that next. But stop trying to control things you don't have control over. Just accept that it's happening. And personally, I have to accept that this COVID crisis is happening, because for me, I'm a little bit irritated. I know some people are in their fear while others are irritated and like, freak, I just want to go on with life. And I'm more so in that camp. I'm just like, I just want to go on with life. And I know that this is about to be more than what they're saying it is. And they want us to focus on the fact that, people are dying from this, but people are dying every single day from so many different things. And this is one of them. Yes. But can we look at some of the other ones, like the stress related illnesses, and how when you call me with your crap that I'm now stressed out because of your stuff, and I don't even remember my stuff because your stuff is laying heavy on me. Stress is contagious too. And how many coronaviruses are out there. We're not talking about that. This is just one corona strand. We don't know how many people are dying from other corona strands. And we don't know how many people are dying from flu. We don't know how many people are dying from pneumonia, from heart attacks, just so many different things. There are so many different ways to die. COVID-19 is one of them, and it is one that everybody is focused on right now. But I want you to think about, our hearts go out to anybody who is affected by this. But our hearts go out to anybody at all times. Our hearts didn't warm up for you because of COVID-19. We always have a heart to serve. We always have a compassion and empathy for not just our members, but for the world. I do this work for the world because I know that if my members are more peaceful, then they can share that peace out in the world, and then that can spread. And we can just all together have a more peaceful world. And that's my claim to fame. That's what I set out to do as the world's #1 clinical hypnotherapist, specializing in financial therapy and stress management. That's what I set out to do. And because of that, I have to remind you that there's a lot going on in the world. So you got to think about that. COVID-19 is not the only thing. And I know that upsets some of you and it angers you. My job is not to say all the sweet, kind things that you need to hear, to be roses and butterflies and unicorns all the time. Sometimes I have to confront you. That is a therapist's job. The therapist has to confront you. Otherwise, you stay in the same place, and that is not growth. Now, let's move on to number 3, adjust. Take control of the things you actually do control. Sometimes we are overlooking the things we actually do control. I'm saying jump on them, get on them, take control of them. You got to. It's super important that you put in place right now your controllables. Figure out what they are. Now, all of this is in the Control the Controllable guide, which you can take on the Insight Timer app. You can take inside our virtual peace party. You can take in the presidential experience. All of this is everything we teach. We teach one thing, peace, but we do it from different perspectives. So even though what's going to make a man peaceful is different than what's going to make a woman peaceful. I know that we think we are created the same, but we're not. Being equal does not mean we're the same. So we have different stressors. And we address Right now, we're going to address all of them. Now, at some point, we're going to have to go back to focusing on our high achievers, our CEOs. And we already know that a good majority of those are men. And they are men who want to keep their families safe and who will do anything, who love their families, although it doesn't always seem like it, which is why we exist, so that we can help those men show the love, show that divine compassion that is inside of them that they were born with, that got chipped away at and we piled other crap on it, lust and anger and greed on top of their compassion, and we are put here to sweep all of that away. Now let me get back to our tips. So the next area that I want you to check out or focus on is keeping things consistent. Whatever your morning routine is, even if you're not going to work, keep it consistent. Like have your morning coffee or sit, and maybe you want to actually create a new morning routine, a one that you really, really want. So on the Insight Timer app, I have a free meditation called Visualize Your Prosperous Life. And it's something that we do inside of our virtual peace party as well. And when you visualize your prosperous life, what are you doing in the morning? And that's what you should be doing now. And then you should do this every single morning. And then whatever your night routine is, and your daily routine is changing because you're probably not going to work, but keep some things constant. Like I meditate twice a day. I do it first thing in the morning, and then I usually do it around 2:00 in the afternoon. Now, sometimes I get shifted by meetings and stuff, but for the most part, I like to take a break between 2 and 3. I spend some of that time meditating, and I spend some of that time eating. Usually meditating first and then eating, and then whatever time is left, I just chill and rest. So a lot of times I take 2-hour lunches, so it can be from 2 to 4 a lot of times, but I'm willing to make it an hour if I need to get back to work. So keep things consistent. For me, it's my meditation, it's my morning routine. I'm still going to wake up, do my appreciation, my meditation, my hydration, and then my activation. Now, my gym is closed, so my activation is not working out as much as it used to be. I know I probably need to do more. I can admit to that. But right now, I've been like sifting through podcasts that I've missed and audiobooks and stuff like that, and videos that people send me, because I love videos. So if you have a video that you think is awesome and you learn so much from it, I'm really studying Ayurveda right now, and I love the philosophy. So if you see anything, you can email me at podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com. So that's something that you can be doing too. Like listen to those podcasts that you love, including the Presidential Experience. Kind of catch up on them. Maybe even listen to some again that you went back, that you said you wanted to implement, but maybe you didn't. So create some family time, like some real family time, not while everybody's on their devices, but get together, play a board game, converse about what's happening, and say, hey, how are you feeling? What does it feel like to not be in school? What does it feel like to not be at work? What does it feel like to not have answers for your employees? What does that feel like? Tell us, talk to us, like converse as a family. Turn off the electronics for an hour or two and just be with each other. You remember that? Yeah. You don't have to be around the TV. You don't have to be around a movie. You don't even have to have dinner together. Like some people love having dinner together. Others, you may have dinner separately, and then you can come together later and talk about it, or before, whatever. I'm just saying, plan some time together. And if you can get that second meditation in like I do, try it. Now is a great time to do that. Next, I want you to create some diversity in your conversation. Heck yes, this is so freaking important, because you cannot inundate yourself with COVID information. If you do, you will not be peaceful. You'll be stressed all the time, and you won't even be able to sleep because you'll be so stressed and worried. There are things you need to be concerned about. Go back to number 1, where I said, look at awareness, acceptance, and adjust. If you need to be aware of something, be aware of it, but don't let it overtake your whole entire day. because you know why? Most of the time they're repeating the same thing over and over and over again. You can watch 1 hour of it and you pretty much have it all. You don't need to watch the whole day of CNN. And if you don't know how to do that yourself, of course, as usual, you could join us, or you can call your bubbly cousin, or, like even somebody at your office that is always talking, that has just like a plethora of things that they can talk about. Those kind of people that can talk about anything. Call those people and allow them to. Here's another thing though. When people call you and they want to talk about that only, just let them know, hey, we can talk about that for like 10 minutes so I can understand what you're going through, what you're feeling. But after that, we're going to need to change the conversation. And when that 10 minutes comes, or when you know that you went too far, just go ahead and just say, hey, let's talk about something else. Would that be okay? Would it be okay if we talked about something else? Hey, tell me about, and then give them a new subject. So that's just a couple of tips that you can use. Tell me about is one we use in therapy, and it works wonders. But also just shifting the conversation, leading the conversation, controlling the conversation is something that you can do too. But the first one that I said is be upfront. Tell them you don't want to talk about this all day. So you do want to be upfront and let them know that this is not going to overtake your whole entire day, your life, your mental state. Your mental state is super important. Do you know that? Yes, I know you do. That's why you listen here. But what I want to make sure you understand is that the search for meaning over money doesn't stop because of the COVID virus. You're still searching for meaning. This might be top of mind, but deep down inside your gut, your heart, your spirit, your soul, whatever you call it, it is searching for meaning. And it's wondering how this COVID virus is going to upset that meaning. So the search for meaning over money, it did not stop. So I can't stop. Do I consider what's happening? Absolutely. But I don't stop giving you the tools to find the meaning in life. So, there's still the Life of Meaning quiz that you can take. All of this will be on the resource page that we're going to create for you. And that link will be in the show notes. So I want you to be grateful. Talk about what's going well. Yeah. What can you be grateful for? Like maybe because of this virus, you get to spend more time with your family. I know you're saying, yeah, too much time. No, don't be like that. That's a great thing that you get more family time. And then, maybe you get to do some projects around the home that you've been meaning to do. Whatever, just find some things that you're grateful for. This has also helped me see, like my team kicked in, like really, really kicked in. It took everybody up a notch. All of us, we went up a notch when this kicked in. We were like, okay, what can we do to serve? And everybody poured deeper into what they were doing and said what they could offer. You guys would have been so proud of my team. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like we all were just like trying to figure it out, and we still are. We haven't given up. We're going to give you something that we know you need. We're going to put out free resources, and like this podcast. This podcast is free. We don't gain, and this is not an income stream for us. So this podcast is going to be happening normally because we are so far in advance. I think we're about 6 weeks in advance with our recordings, maybe further. So those are still happening because those are powerful CEOs who deserve their story to be told. So the search for meaning over money is still happening, but we're also going to drop in these COVID updates. That's what's now with this COVID and how it affects us, how it affects you, and that fear, fake, and conspiracy theory news out there. We're going to put that all in our forum so you can sift through it and determine what's right for you. Because remember, again, we're not telling you what to think. We're telling you how to think. We're giving you the tools. Hey, this is what you should be doing. Finding some diversity in your conversation, focusing on your peace, continuing to find your meaning in life. Those things, that's what we're telling you. Focus on that. Now, you want COVID information, we got it for you, but just let it be an hour or two of your time. Don't spend your whole day. But I know you're going to have to wean yourself off of it right now. So that's something else I want to mention. Kind of start weaning yourself off of this, because one day this is going to go away. The media should not govern what goes into your head. They are going to stop reporting at some point, and you're going to be like, whoa, what happened? So what if you just wean yourself off of it and only talk to your friends and family, and then wean them off of it, and then start depositing positive information into your head and listening to your own voice, you know? So continue to create a plan of action for you. Think about what you're going to do differently after this, because that's another thing that you could be grateful for, that this crisis made you think about things that you hadn't really been thinking about. Like maybe you wash your hands more than you used to. Maybe you're more conscious of the distance and the people you touch, and you want to start being more conscious about that, because that is how, if you're the type of person that gets sick a lot, and if you are, then getting into the presidential experience is going to be paramount for you, because we use a product that helps build the immune system, and everybody in our group, we recommend it to them. We recommend a product called Swish by a company called Sealy by Design to everyone in our network, in our tribe, because building your immune system at this time is so important. If you haven't been building your immune system, get on that. That's something that you should be doing now. Building your immune system is never been more important. So get working on that. And if you need help, on the resource page, there's going to be information on sealybydesign.com/presidential. So Sealy by Design, Sealy is CILI, sealybydesign.com/presidential. That's how you can start building your immune system, because it's minerals and vitamins that help you build your immune system. Vitamin C is very good. Vitamin D, vitamin B, all the Bs, but especially B12. And I'm telling you this because you can go out and you can take all of these separately: magnesium, zinc, and iron for some people, especially ladies. But you can do this separately, all these things separately, or you can get the Sealy by Design, and it has like 90 different minerals inside of it. So that would be my suggestion. You do whatever works for you, because some people do like to take these things individual. I take that, and then I take my omegas, which the Sealy has omegas in them, but I had already been taking omegas, so I keep taking them. Vitamin C is, I will take an extra dose of vitamin C when things are heightened like this, because, or like say you're in your office and you notice that a lot of people are starting to get sick. That's when things are heightened. Then, go ahead and start adding more vitamin C to your repertoire. Building your immune system is paramount. It's just really important. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Like that's your number one focus, is building your immune system. I should have just opened the show with, hey, it's time to build your immune system. But that will be my next one. The next one, I will be making sure that is your top priority. Another top priority is, so you remember I said later I'm going to tell you about my conspiracy theories, and I am. But one of them, I'll give you like a little snippet, is that this is not a conspiracy theory. This is happening. This is real, true. If you notice that there's stuff happening in the financial world that we're overlooking because we're distracted by this COVID virus. Do you think that's accidental? Mm-mm. Yeah, this administration is purposely giving us the information they want us to have. The media is focusing on what they want us to have. So you got to dig deep and to see like what's really going on. Do you know that interest rates are so low right now? Do you know that? Some of you do. I know. I'm so glad you saw that. Some of you don't though. Yeah. So this will be a great time to refinance. And I know people are like, well, how can I refinance when all of this is happening in the world? Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be quiet, because I know you know the answer to that. It's always time to focus on you. Put your mask on first. The very best thing you can do for the world is to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself doesn't mean watching the news for 12 hours. It means handling your business. And that is what I am doing right now. I've been moving stuff around, refinancing, having conversations with creditors, just seeing if we can lower our interest rates, since interest rates are lowering, I'm calling credit card companies because there are credit cards that we use. And most of the time we try not to keep a balance, but sometimes we do. And when we do, we want those credit cards to be lower. If we make a significant purchase and we need to have a plan as to how we're paying that off, we still want that to be really low. Now, when I say low, I'm thinking 4% at the highest, but I don't even want you to go that high if you don't if you can't. Of course, a lot of people are debt adverse because of what the current consensus has been, not to have debt, like the Dave Ramsey and that kind of thing. And for my CEOs, though, I know that you're going to look at both sides of the balance sheet, and your liabilities are not bad if they have a plan associated with it and they extend your life of your business, and they help your business expand and grow. So leverage is not necessarily a bad thing. And if you're deciding that you're buying a commercial real estate building, you're going to need to leverage that building. So whatever it is that you need to do to grow. But I'm just saying right now, look at refinancing in your business as well as your personal finances. Call your financial advisor right now and just have a conversation with them. What should I be thinking? What should I be doing? Should I be reallocating some funds? You may continue to dollar cost average in if you're doing that. What should shift? If you have lost value, don't necessarily move, because then you will actually realize those losses. Now, some of you know this already, but you might forget it during this time of emotions. That's why I bring it up. So if you lost value, but you had a blue chip or a stable stock or mutual fund or ETF or whatever, don't necessarily change. Just do some research. Decide if that is the right thing to do. If this thing is never going to rebound, then you might have to cut your losses. And for some of you, taking some losses is going to be important for you because of the income bracket you're in. So just think about those things. Now, all of this stuff is not bad. All of this stuff is not bad. So they pushed the tax date for personal taxes. Now, some of you are S corps like we are, and you may have already filed your corporate taxes, but some of you can take advantage of that pushback date and maybe get more out of it. So do your best to lower your expenses right now. Lower your expenses. We have done so much to try and lower our expenses. We really like to run a lean company anyway. But I have talked about it before. I do spoil this business. So I am quick to purchase something that I believe will forward the business. And then my operations and my finance person will say, no, ma'am, you're not doing that. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. But so make sure you have a person like that. And I'm normally spend adverse, but if I believe it's going to do something great for the company, I'm a lot more lenient on the decisions I make when it comes to, will it expand the business? And it may, but the timing might not be right, or the price might not be right, and it may not, right? It may be what I am just thinking, or maybe I got caught up in marketing. I'm human. So I like to run it through a filter. People who are not as in love with this business as I am. Now, they love it, of course, but this is like my baby. So they have to be reasonable. And you know how you have with your own children, you might be a little too sweet. And then people say, wait a minute, that girl needs to do blah, blah, blah on her own. And then you have to think about it and you're like, yeah, that's true. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm enabling her. So let her do that on her own. So that's the same thing I have to do with the business. But communicate with your creditors if you are having some challenges. Now, I talked to some business owners. I talk to business owners every day. And one of the business owners I talked to, he said that one of his clients was already out of business. It hasn't even been 2 weeks, right? That's so freaking sad. And because we run a virtual business, we are working to keep our core, but also make some shifts. But just think, if we didn't make some shifts, we could be just like that same company. So do what you need to do to cut expenses. Talk to creditors. If you are challenged, if you see a challenge coming, try to get in front of it, be proactive, and just make those moves that you need to make, and especially these business moves. So this is the last tip. So we're about to wrap it up before I throw a couple of conspiracies at you. So offer lower pricing. That might be an option for you. Offer lower pricing. Create a virtual product like we have. And if you want help doing that I would do. I would say for free, but it costs time. So I will donate conversations. If you need a conversation as to how to create a virtual product, I would donate a conversation to you for that. You just have to send me an email, podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com, and I'll tell you how we can schedule that. And I don't get those emails. Actually, it goes to our operations person. So she'll forward it to me though. And then I'll talk to you about that. But I think you should create a virtual offer. I just know that is the way the world is going. I'll talk more about that in a second when I talk about my conspiracy theories. But the other thing is stay connected. Stay connected. A lot of my listeners are EO, YPO members, Vistage. You have tribes already, and then you have this tribe. So continue to stay connected with your tribe. Don't isolate yourself. Even if you're starting to go through something that you might be embarrassed or feel shameful about, talk to your tribe. And I know you do not want to look like a failure in front of your tribe, but I'm going to tell you that is the best place to do it. You will have to get vulnerable. They may judge you at first, but it won't last long, because when they go through some challenges of their own, they're going to see how it feels to walk in your shoes, and they'll say, that's what Kanae was going through. I shouldn't have judged her. So don't you worry about that. Maybe you should just focus on you and what you need. Don't you worry. Yeah, don't you worry about a thing. If you need to be vulnerable, you need to reach out. Like right now, I am reaching out to my mentor who told me, reach out if you need anything. And sometimes I don't, because I'm like, I don't want to bother him. I have two mentors. One is male, one is female. And I'm like, I don't want to bother them. I want to figure this out on my own, but I don't want to do that this time. I just want to call them. They said call them. So just do it. Be vulnerable. Let's see. I think that's all my tips. So let me talk to you a little bit about some of these conspiracy theories. I whisper that because I don't want them coming after me. No, they're not going to come after me, because I really don't know much. Like, I have not studied this stuff. It is gut feeling. But my gut feeling says the reason why they're so loud with this COVID-19 crisis is because they want you to overlook some things that they're doing right now that are going to affect you, that you maybe normally would have pushed back on, and it would have made it harder for them. But by the time you notice, it'll be already in place, and it will be nothing you can do. Also, the rich will get richer right now because they'll be taking advantage of the stock market being down, because we get fearful when the stock market goes down, but that's actually a sell. I don't know if you realize that. That's a sell. And since when is a sell bad? Now, I get it. If you bought in high, then you might be upset when the stock market goes down. But if you bought in low, like the stock 101, course taught you, then you should be fine, because you gained some, and now it might be going down. You might be losing some value, but if you don't sell and you bought something that you felt like was really sturdy, then it's going to go back up. I'm saying all of this because I know you know this crap. I know you know this. I'm reminding you that they're distracting you so that your emotions go high and your logic goes low. I want you to bring your logic up. So another one of my theories is that, during this COVID crisis, the healthcare system is going to change. Now, some things are going to become more digital, and it's actually going to be very beneficial. But it might also give the government more control than you want them to have. And companies like YouTube and Facebook are going to help them to give you only the information that they want you to have. So because Facebook will decide what they want to post, and so they'll just post, like if I post this on Facebook right now, they can decide that they want to take that down because of what I'm saying, because they disagree. instead of you having these ideas that maybe you want to contemplate yourself to say, Kanae was onto something. What does she mean about this things that are happening financially while this COVID is happening that I'm missing? Let me look deeper. Let me see if there's some other things that I want to do. So a lot of my wealthy clients and friends are going more into buying gold and silver, precious metals. And my all-weather portfolio is based on Ray Dalio's all-weather portfolio. I didn't do it exactly, but it's really similar. And precious metals is a big part of that. There's also some treasuries and bonds in there that a lot of people don't like. And it doesn't look good when interest rates are low, but it gives you kind of that stability sometimes. So just look deeper as to what's happening. Precious metals are, especially if you can get your hands on the physical, not just the paper and not just a mutual fund, but if you can get your hands on some physical gold, some physical silver. And I know that many of you have the cash to do that. So do that. If you don't, that's okay. But be ready to do it. Get that cash together. Instead of going out shopping for toilet paper, you can put some money together and buy some silver, because that is going to be worth more than that toilet paper. Because I'm not even going to go into that. Yep. I'm not going there. Yeah. Cause I kind of think that was sort of a conspiracy too, to see just how much control they had over you guys. And I say you guys, cause I did not run out and buy tons of toilet paper. Now, I kind of live a lean life, but I also live a prepared life. And I travel around a lot. And because I travel around a lot of times my supplies don't run out because I'm not home a lot. So I have water, I have toilet paper, I don't eat a lot of frozen or canned food. So I did go out and buy a little bit of that just in case we were going to be trapped and stuck in. But I understand that my neighbors need food too. And I don't want them breaking in my house, getting it, because I'm the one neighbor who bought all the stuff up. So I want us to spread that around. And the other reason that they're doing this is to divide us as well. But if we stick together, if we all stick together, then they can't divide us, because really the government we want to believe that the government is doing what's in our best interest, but they're not always doing what's in our best interest, especially not on an individual level. So you've got to fight for what's best for you individually. And I can tell you the thing that's for our best and highest good is actually two things. One is for us all to look out for each other. Don't go out and buy all the toilet paper, all the canned goods, all the frozen food, and your neighbor can't eat. That is going to cause more chaos. We need to spread it all out so we all are eating. And if you do decide to buy up all the canned goods and all the frozen food, then you need to be having dinners at your house and inviting people over, because we've got to love each other. The government is really looking to see how much we love each other, how much control they can have over us. And if we love each other more, then they will have to love us more. And I know that sounds all hokey and woo-woo. You know I'm woo-woo. I come over here and I talk on business a lot, but who I am as a person, I study metaphysics. I have since I was 15 years old. That is the way I live my life. But I know that's not the way you live your life. So I don't talk to you in that language as much. Every once in a while, I'll drop a word or two of metaphysics on you. But for the most part, I meet you where you are. But I know that love is all we have. And if the government can take that love away from us, it'll have us fighting each other, and then they can take control. Now, the government is that, 1%. Now, think about it. The people who run, our officials who run, they don't really run the country or the state or the cities. The companies do, because that's where the money is. And so here's my last conspiracy theory, and then I'm going to let this go. That a lot of this stuff is put together to push out small business owners. Big business wants to take over, and they can. And a lot of that is the greed that we are working on here at the Presidential Experience. And my heart is heavy, because I know that big business can have what they need and small business can have what we need. But for some reason, they don't believe that. They believe in greed. They believe in the have and have-nots. But I know that like men like Carnegie used to be that way. He used to believe that he had to take and hurt others in order for him to be successful. And then he later in life learned. And that's why we have the Carnegie libraries and the universities and the halls, because he eventually said, oh my gosh, I have got to find meaning over money. And so I bring it all back. You thought my conspiracy theories were just empty, but they're not. I just need to know how to reach those greedy, limited thinkers out there who believe that if somebody else has, that means they don't have. I want to reach them, help me reach them so that we can help them turn their money into meaning. Greed is not the answer. Love is. And when you find meaning, you find peace. And this is not written. This is not a script. This is me just talking to you. So if you are listening, and I've said the word conspiracy theory many times, so likely they are listening to me. But this is what I want to say. I have no idea what your conspiracies are. I don't know anything about that because that's not the way my brain works. But I know what my gut is telling me. And my gut is telling me that you're creating this fear so you can bring my people down. And I won't let you, because I love them and I love you. And we can all thrive. We can all thrive. I know this for sure. Let me show you how to find meaning in life. Because at some point, maybe it won't be until you're on your deathbed. And believe me, I've seen it so many times. Your heart becomes heavy because of all the things you have done. I'm talking to you. Yes. And as you go through that, you might go through a midlife crisis, or you might wait until you're on your deathbed. Whenever time it comes to you, I'm telling you that there is peace. And all you have to do is turn that money and that power into meaning. People are hurting because of the choices that you have made, because of the fear that you have put in their hearts. Can you give them some love back? And I know you're laughing at me right now because you're like, silly girl, what are you talking about? So I'm going to wrap it up by saying this. Let's just have a virtual peace party. Somehow, some way, find it in your heart. For those of you who are barely hanging on because I have just gone too far, but somehow you're still listening, I'm just saying, take the next step. Let us get together as a community and raise the consciousness so that we are searching for meaning over money. And that is all I have to say about that. So stay connected with us. Listen to our normal episodes, but also be ready for these updates that we're going to throw at you when needed. It might be, it might be every couple days. It might be weekly. I don't know. It's going to be when it hits my heart, when my gut tells me to, when you tell me you need an update. But jump into the virtual peace party. You will not regret it. So look in the links. presidentiallifestyle.com/resources is definitely going to be a link. But just go to the show notes right now. Inside of this, wherever you're listening to this podcast, just look at those show notes, the description, and there'll be a link in there, and it'll take you so you can continue. I think I'm going to do presidentiallifestyle.com/peace too. I haven't created any of this yet, but I will. And just as soon as I get done talking to you, because I know we need each other and I'm here for you. And I'll see you, my Prosperos. Have a peaceful day, week, month, year, life.